Alright, hello everyone, it's Teamrocketdraws here with another Pokemon drawing tutorial. And for this video guys, we're gonna be drawing another Ultra Beast. This one's pretty hard guys, but we're gonna be drawing Buzzwole, or hopefully I pronounced that right. But as you guys can see on screen, this is how he ends up looking like. So if you guys want to learn how to draw him, then let's get started. I'm also gonna put up a reference right now on screen that was easier for you guys to draw, and at the same time you guys can get all your details. So just keep in mind guys that he's not gonna be like the reference 100%, but we do end up getting pretty close. And remember to do your lines light and have an eraser, because we are gonna start by doing a sketch, and then from there on you guys are gonna do your final drawing. So the first thing that we're gonna do guys is this like oval shape at this angle. This is basically gonna be his torso, so the better that you guys make it, the easier it's gonna be to follow the tutorial. It actually took me like a couple of tries just to get the right angle on this shape guys, so just try as many as you can, and as long as it looks okay, then let's go. So right here I'm just going over it, trying to like get it even in both sides. Just one of those things that is kind of hard to get. It's almost like a perfect circle, it's just really hard to get, but the best that we could do is try to get as close as we can. So this is actually my second time drawing Buzzwole guys. The first time I drew him just to see how the tutorial was gonna work out, and I was happy with it, so hopefully it's helpful. I'm pretty sure some of you guys are gonna have trouble. It's not for everybody, since he is a hard Pokemon to draw, but just try your best. So the first thing that we're gonna do guys is split this shape in the middle like that. That's just gonna help us do the rest of the drawing. It's just a guideline. I like to do guidelines throughout the drawings guys. Just don't remember not to do this line that dark, because we are gonna be erasing it. It's basically there just to help us. Right now I'm looking at my computer because that's where I have my reference. So just like you guys have it on screen right now, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. That way you guys can see all those small details, because he's just one of those Pokemons that has so many details guys. He's like so big, and a little bit hard to draw. So we're just gonna extend the line a little bit around there. Actually I make it too long and I do shorten it a little bit. So around that length from the middle, we're gonna do the same thing on both sides of that middle line. And we're gonna do the bottom of him, like his waist area. And like I said before, make it too big, so I do erase it in just a little bit. Just try to make it a little bit shorter. It should basically be half of the oval shape that we did at the top. Once again, I'm not happy with this, too high, so I changed it up a little bit, make it a little bit shorter, and then make the lines a little bit more straight. So we're basically gonna base the whole drawing off this two shapes guys. So try your best to get them as close as you can to the way I have it here, because everything's gonna be based off this. So if you guys don't do one of these parts like right, or make one too big compared to the other, then we're gonna have trouble during the whole tutorial. So once we have that guys, once again we're gonna split this oval shape in half going the long way. Once again, that's just gonna help us do everything. Now that we have that, around half of the top half of the oval shape, we're gonna do another oval shape right here, and this one barely goes outside of the first oval shape. Right here I just erase a little bit just to clean it up a little bit, since I'm making a lot of lines. It kind of gets confusing, so that's why I erased a little bit there. Alright, so now that we have that guys, around this is the bottom line. We're gonna do another oval shape inside of this one, so it's around here. So that's how far it is from the other oval shape or the line, and then we're just gonna do another one. And towards the top it gets a little bit closer to the line. So right here I'm just showing you guys it's basically the same thickness, and then at the top it's closer to the actual line, although it doesn't touch. That's basically gonna be his head. Alright, so around here in the middle, almost a straight line to the left, a little bit under I guess. We're gonna start by doing his shoulder. So around here I just go straight, basically make a straight line, And I'm just showing you right here that the length of this, the bottom of that, is basically the length of his head. as I'm pointing out there again, and then we could just go up and meet with this one. It should actually be a little bit more round than I have it here, but I'm not sure if I fixed that or nothing. But if you guys could round off the top a little bit more, then that'll be fine. Alright, so now around here, guys, we're gonna do 2 lines going down, and then we're basically gonna curve it and do this like almost a circle shape, and try to do this the same size as the first one that we did, his shoulder. They should basically be the same size as I'm pointing out right there. Now that we have that, we're going to do a straight line going from the bottom of that second circle that we did, going to around here. And that's basically going to be half of his forearm. So around here, we're just going to do this part for his fist. And then we're just going to go to around here. And then we're just going to round it off. Connect it around there, right in the middle of the second circle that we did. Alright, so now we're gonna do the other side, and it should basically be the same thickness as the one at the top, or like the same length from the middle line that we did. And then we could just square it off the fist. Once again, it might take you guys a couple tries to do this, but just try to get these as close as you can, guys, because like I said before, it's gonna help out. So right there, basically showing you guys that the forearm should almost be the same thickness as the 2 circles that we did at the top for the shoulder. Alright, so now we're gonna do another one over here. This one also starts a little bit lower than that middle line on the oval shape, and it should basically be around the same length as that one. But it should be a little bit thinner, not by much, but it should, since it's a little bit further away from us. Alright, so now around here, we're going to do another one. I think it takes me a couple tries just to get the right shape of it. If you guys see me going over the same line, I'm not basically going over the same line. I'm trying to like fix the shape. Once since I already have a line there, just by going over it again, I know where to move it, where to change it, where to do stuff like that. And then once I have that, I go back and I erase like the extra lines that I did. Alright, so now around here, we're just gonna do his forearm. And this one, if you guys can see, they get smaller as it gets to the hand. Now for his fist. Once again, this one's pretty small, guys. It's almost the same size as his head. If you guys look at the reference, you'll get a better idea of what I mean. It's basically that kind of size. Like if you guys compare that hand, right here I'm just doing a reference line just to show you how low it should be. It should basically go to the bottom of the first oval shape that we did. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's not, guys, it's okay. As long as you guys get roughly around that area, then it's fine. Alright, so now from the bottom of his torso and at the top of his head, we're gonna do the same length as this line right here. So it should be basically be that length. Hopefully you guys understood what I said there. Alright, so now the actual oval shape, we're gonna do another one, and this is gonna be the one on the right. So around here, if you guys could spread them a little bit more further away from each other, it's gonna be a little bit better, as long as you got enough space at the top. Alright, so now we're gonna do another one that goes a little bit under the fist, and then it's just gonna go to around there compared to that one. I actually connect mine too close. It shouldn't be that close. I do notice that once I do the final drawing, so just don't do it that close the way I did it. And there we go, guys. We're basically gonna start adding details from this sketch. So once again, try to get your sketch as close as you can to the way I have it here, because after this it's all details. Alright, so now to do one of the torsos or the chest, one of those circles or oval shapes. So it's basically gonna be around here. It's gonna go a little bit higher than that line, and then it's around it connects to around there, basically where the torso starts, or the stomach, I mean. And something that I recommend doing, guys, right here, I'm just pointing out how far it should be from that middle line of the oval shape. And if you guys could get a little bit closer, because at the end mine were too far apart, so if you guys could do a little bit closer, it'd be a little bit better. Once again, around that far away from the middle line, although once again try to make it a little bit closer than I did it, a little bit above that middle line on the top, and then it should basically once again connect around there, and we could just do this other oval shape. Once again, if you guys could do those two oval shapes a little bit closer to each other, guys, it'd be a lot better, because if you guys look at the reference, it's just a small gap in between those. And once I do my final drawing, it's something that I wish I would have been able to change. Alright, so now right here in the torso, we're just gonna make this circle. And this is basically gonna be the red circles that he has on his throughout his body. Now this one, another circle, and just try to do these the same size. It's something that you guys might want to check throughout your drawing. Just try to make all of them the same, almost the same size. Alright, so now around here we're just gonna split that, guys. We're basically doing the wrist, splitting the wrist, and then he has another circle around here. So I'm sorry if it starts getting a little bit confusing after this, guys, but it's just one of those things that you guys are gonna have to follow step by step. He does have another one around here, and this one's a little bit smaller compared to the other ones, since once again the hand's a little bit further and it's at an angle. He has another one around here that I do change later on, because I noticed it's a lot bigger than I did it there, but we could always just make those kind of changes later on. Yes, another one right here. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will basically see what I'm talking about. Alright, so now for this line, we're gonna do half of an oval shape, a little bit to the right of that middle line, and it goes to around there. This is just one of those areas where it's gonna be crucial if you guys get it right, because we are gonna be doing his eyes in there. So around here in the middle of the second circle right there, we're just gonna connect it to around there. That's basically gonna be his stinger, or his beak, because I guess he's kind of like a mosquito. Now that we have that, we're gonna go down here, do this line right there, going in the middle of those two lines, and then in between the bottom and the top right there, right in the middle of that line, we're gonna do another one. Around the same level as this one, we're gonna do another line. And this one I kind of made it too long, so I do erase it. And then right there, another one. One over here. And then right in the middle of the bottom and the top right there of the other line that we did, we're gonna do another one. These lines are basically gonna be splitting his legs, so we're just gonna do like his segments on his legs. That's what those lines are for. So if it doesn't come out right on the first time, guys, you guys could always make any changes later on. Alright, so now for a little bit more of the details. So he does have this kind of like edge on this one right here. So we're just gonna do that. We're gonna do the same thing on the other one. And once again, try to make these the same thickness on both sides. So obviously it starts a little bit thinner in the middle, and then it starts getting a little bit thicker. So we're not gonna do it all the way, just because the beak does get in the way, and we don't want to do a line that goes over the beak. So we could just do it around there. Alright, so now we're gonna do the shoulder plate that he has at the top. He has this like spikes. So we're just gonna do the overall shape of it. So it should be around here like this. Now the same thing on this side. This one's actually we can see the side of it. So right here I'm just pointing out that it should basically be the same length. One of those things that you guys might want to pay attention to. That way it could be even throughout the whole drawing. Alright, now to skip that, we're just gonna do one of his segments on his legs. It's basically his thigh. So from that middle line that we did, we're just gonna extend it, curve it a little bit, and just meet it to the top right here. And if you guys notice, these are a little bit smaller than the rest of his body. Each of these oval shapes is basically the same length or the size of his head, the oval shape for his head. Once again, we're gonna do another one here, and then this one's almost the same size, but right here I think I did it the same size. It looks similar, but it should be a little bit smaller than the one on top, but not by much. Alright, so now on this one, guys, on the right side of that line, we're gonna do a circle. Not a big one, it's pretty small, guys. And then we're gonna do another one, and then in a little bit right here. I guess I do that side of the leg first, and then I do another oval shape right here. And it should basically be the same size as the one at the top, but this one's a little bit more long, or not as thick as the one at the top. Now we're gonna do another one over here, and this one almost reaches all the way. I think it does reach all the way at the top. And right here, since the lines are pretty close, guys, it does almost touch the one in the middle. If you guys look at the reference, there's like a gap in between that, but since I'm doing this, obviously it's not going to be the same, so I just keep going and just make any changes to my drawing just to make it look right. Another one right there, and then right here we could just complete that circle, that line for his leg. Now to skip to the top, so around here we're just gonna curve this line. We're gonna curve another one, and then this one shouldn't touch the wait, yeah, it does touch that one. It connects to that top line that we did on the oval shape on his chest. And then it should be the same thickness as I'm pointing out there, but once again, I don't complete it. I don't touch it to the top, just because the beak does go over that, and I don't want to make it more confusing, so I just do it like a small line. Alright, so now that I have that, guys, we're gonna do his fist. So he has 4, actually I think it's 5 of them. I don't know how many I do. Hopefully I did 5. 5 knuckles. So that's basically what I'm doing right here, is basically these like half circles. So that's 3. So 2 on the bottom of that middle line, and then 2 at the top. And hopefully I do a third one, because that's just 4 of them. Alright, I think it only shows 4 because the thumb is under. Yeah, so it should only be 4, guys. Alright, on this one, around there, we're just going to do this. And once again, we're going to do 4. And right here, they should be a little bit smaller than the ones on the other hand. But right here, I make them similar size. It's just one of those small details, guys. Hopefully, you guys are able to do. It might be a little bit confusing if you guys trying to do it the same as I did it. Alright, so now for the beak. So the beak, a little bit higher than this one. We're just gonna connect it. So I started off, I know where I'm gonna start and I know where I'm gonna end. So now I can just connect it. So obviously the one at the top is a little bit thinner, and then the one on the bottom is a little bit further away from that line. And then just connect it to that tip right there. And there we go. It's gonna give us his beak. So I just erased the inside of it just to clean it up a little bit, just because there's some of those lines that are going right through it, so it might make it a little bit confusing. So I do erase it just to clean it up and make it a little bit more easier to see. I redraw that middle line because he does have it, and then I just complete it by connecting the top right there, kind of this triangle shape almost. Alright, so now for the detail on his right chest plate, the way that we're looking at him. So around here we could just do this curved line. Now around here it's pretty thin. We're gonna kind of do this triangle shape. Same thing at the top, but the top is a lot smaller just because of the angle of it. We really can't see it. And then we're just gonna do another line. There we go. Kind of looks like a wrench. Same thing on this side, so they're almost on the same level as the other one that we did. We're gonna do the same thing just because if you guys look at the reference, they almost meet up. Same thing on this side. Just try to do it the same thickness as the other one on the other side. Alright, so he does have these other oval shapes right here. It's basically his stomach. Under his torso, another one right there. Just small details, guys. Alright, now to finish this leg right here. So we could just connect it right there by connecting that circle to the top. And then the same thing with this one, just connect it to the top. And just try to do these circular because they are a little bit round each segment. Since that one covers the other one, that's about it for that one. And then for the bottom right here, it just basically ends at a point. And I do change this, I think, later on because the point is this triangle shape at the bottom is pretty small. So I think I do extend it later on. Now the same thing on this one. I do make that one a little bit longer than that line that I did because that one should basically be a little bit longer than each of those segments on his legs. Now around here we're gonna do the circle, and now from there we could just do these other red kind of like half oval shapes on his legs. Another one on this side. If you guys look at the reference, hopefully you guys see what I'm trying to do right there. It's basically those red segments that he has on his legs and throughout his arms. Now the same thing on this side. If you guys notice, it doesn't touch that middle line going down the actual leg. Now he has another one right here. Now for this one, so I just connect it from that top circle and then just connect it around there just because it does connect. And then this one gives me a little bit trouble just because of the angle that I did the other line for the bottom of his foot. And then I just connect it by doing a straight line to the knee. So like I said before, on my drawing right here, the leg actually touches the other one, and on the reference it doesn't. There's a gap, and that was just because of the angle that I did those lines, but I left it like that. You guys can make it change the angle, but since it's my drawing, you know, and it doesn't have to be perfect, as long as it looks okay, I can make any changes to my drawing. So now that I have that, guys, I basically have the shape and the details of the legs. That's where I just erase that middle line going down and just erase all those extra lines. And then this is where I extend that bottom of his foot right there, just because it looked a little bit weird having it that small. Alright, so now for the top. Now we're gonna do two circles, one for the eye. And if you guys notice, it basically touches the beak. So this one is basically a perfect circle, and it fits inside of that shape that we did. And then the other one, it's almost a perfect circle, but the first side kind of gets cuts a little bit off. There we go. And they should basically be the same size. Alright, so now around here, now for this chest plate, we're going to do this kind of like a circle right there, the top left corner of the shape. And then we're going to do another one right here, smaller circle. That's basically going to be the spike. Since we're looking at it from the top view, it kind of looks like circles. Now he has another one right here, so we could just do this oval shape, circle. And then it has the line connecting these two right in the middle. Now for this one we could actually see the triangle, the actual spike. Now around the middle it has this line going across. Now this one, it's a little bit smaller than the other one. It's probably half the size or a little bit smaller than that. Once again, it has another small line going through the middle of that. So now around here, guys, we're just gonna do this line that connects to the top of the shoulder right there, where the shoulder meets the circle for the body. And then he has another one that goes at the top of that, connects to around there. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will basically see what I'm trying to draw right there. So I do erase part of the overline that we did before, just to clean it up a little bit and for you guys to actually see what I did. Now he does have these lines right here on the outside of that oval for the head. So right here I'm just looking at the reference and trying to see where he actually has them. And now around here he has this triangle shape right there. I just do that first one and then I go and do his antennas. So they actually come out of his eyes and they kind of go at this angle. Now the other one on this side, and just try to do these two the same length. There we go. Kind of looks okay like that, so I just leave it. Now that I know that the antennas are gonna be there, it's basically gonna make it a little bit easier to do the rest of his head. But I do skip some areas, guys. Go from one side to the other. So now that I have the beak there, I can just connect these two lines. And now for the ones on this side, so there's a small gap in between that oval shape of the chest to this top line. And then it connects around here. This is basically his the top of his shoulders. Has another one up here. It basically follows the same shape as the oval shape that we did at the beginning of the video. So just by having all these small details, adding all these details, we're starting to see Buzzwole a little bit better. We're starting to see how he actually looks. And once we erase some of those reference lines that go across the whole sketch, it's going to be a little bit more easier to see how he looks. So this will erase that reference line going down the middle, the one that we did in the oval shape at the beginning. I just erase it and it just cleans up the drawing and just completely changes it, just because those were unnecessary lines. So I do change them, erase them. For example, right there in that circle, erase the ones that go inside of it. Same thing with the ones inside of the chest. And it just makes the drawing a lot better. So I recommend that you guys, as I'm drawing, as you guys are doing the certain parts that we're doing, to look at the reference. That's why I have it up there, guys. Basically, that way you guys can see what we're trying to do, and that way you guys won't follow exactly what I'm doing on the on my sketch. That way you guys will get an idea of what I'm trying to do, and at the same time, it's gonna be a lot easier for you to actually do it. So right here I'm just gonna do this other triangle shape that he has right in the knee. And then he has we can barely see one on that leg, so it's pretty small. Alright, so now for these rings that he has around his waist. I'm not sure if I do them right now, but if you guys look at the reference, you guys will see what I'm talking about. He has two like ring shapes. This one kind of comes out outside of the lines that we did, and it meets up once again a little bit outside. Right there, it's just connected to the actual line. And then this line right here is just basically the line, the gap in between the two rings. That's what that meant. This other ring right here, and just try to do these the same thickness. And this one actually wraps and connects all the way to the top, to the torso. If you guys look at the reference, you guys will basically see what I'm trying to draw. Just because on my sketch, it might be a little bit confusing. And right here, I erased that line just because I actually want to do the actual, antenna instead of just having one line. And these are pretty thin, guys, so just try to make them thin and the same thickness on both sides. So now right here there's another triangle shape. If you guys look at the reference once again, you guys will basically see what we're trying to draw. And then he has a smaller one on this side. Now he does have this like lines that connect from that middle triangle to the top of his eyes. So it might be a little bit confusing on mine, but if you guys look at the reference a little bit closer, you guys will get a better idea of how it looks. So once again, I recommend looking at the reference just so you guys can get a better idea of how it should be. So right here I just connect that chest, the bottom rectangle for his chest, oval shape, to that top right there. And right now I'm just going over some of these shapes, guys. I'm just looking at the reference, that's what I'm basically doing, and then just go back, look at some sections and see if there's anything that I could add. For example, right here, he has another of those, like I guess I'm gonna call it an orb, sticking out. And once again, he has another one on this side at the top right here. This one's obviously a little bit smaller than the other one, and then he has another smaller one on his forearm. So this is where I, like I said before, I do extend it a little bit just because I noticed that it was a little bit longer than the way I did it, and it's more round than the way I did it. It's more like an oval shape than the way I had it before. So this is where I do the other one. This one's fairly small compared to the other one. And then he also has this triangle shape right there on his elbow, basically. Just erasing some of those reference lines, just cleaning up the drawing a little bit. So he does have this like gray detail, just like the way he had it on his chest. So we're just gonna do that. Once again, look at the reference, that way you guys will get a better idea of what we're trying to do. Alright, so now for his forearm. So he does have another one right here, another circle or orb. Right here I'm just working on that one right there. And just working overall in the shape of these, and also erase some of those reference lines, and then add the other orb that he has on this segment. And right there, make mine a little bit small now that I'm looking at it. I recommend that you guys do it a little bit higher than I did it right there. But once again, it's not a big difference, although now that I'm looking at it, it is. And then he has, once again, another spike, almost like in the elbow, I guess. So that's probably one of those mistakes that I did make, guys, on the top oval of that spike that we did in the elbow. If you guys could just do a little bit higher, it'd probably look a million times better than the way I have it here. Because now that I'm looking at mine, it kind of looks weird. I don't know why I did not do that. So I'm going to point out my mistakes, guys, that I make. That way you guys could fix yours and make yours way better than I have it here. Alright, so now for his elbows, guys. Once again, he has 4 of these, like, things right here. That's what I'm counting that I have 4 of them. And then, yeah, that's where I'm counting them. I'm like, wait, how many fingers does he have? And I just connect it right here. So 4. And then I just go straight down and connect it. And now we're just gonna do these kind of like these rectangle lines right here coming out of each one. So it's basically like another circle at the top of each one, and they go kind of at an angle. And once again, just try to make these the same thickness. And then just start these at the top of each of those circles that we did right there for the thumbs. And then on the bottom of this one, we could do another one on its side. And that's basically gonna be one of his fingers. Now I could erase one of those reference lines that we did. And then just basically fix this line right here because we could actually see it. And that's basically one hand. Probably you guys could do a million times better than the way I did it there. But I'm just going with it. Once again, there should be 4 of them. And then once again, out of each of those, we're going to do this, like, extend them, I guess, a little bit at an angle. Out of each one, exactly like right on top of it. And for this one, they get smaller the further to the right. Now for the thumb right here, it's basically another oval shape right inside of that. And then that finger basically goes back down and connects. I think that one came out better than the other one that we did. And then out of each of those lines, he basically has the lines, I guess, for his like veins, or I'm not sure what that is. If you guys look closely at the reference, you guys will see what I'm talking about. And then right there, he has another of those silver lines going over the orb. Same thing on this side. You guys can barely see it on the reference, but he does have it there. It's just small details, guys. Another one here. So now we're basically done. Now it's all about adding smallest details, guys. For example, I didn't like that line right there, so I do change it, just curve it a little bit more than the way I had it before. And then add those small lines like I said before, right there. And we're basically done, guys. Another thing that I'm not sure that I added right now in the sketch is the 4th leg, the one all the way in the back, in between the bottom 2 legs. He has the shadow of a 4th leg. That's another thing that you guys might want to add. I'm not sure if I do it right here on the reference, but I started doing right here one of the wings, which are basically triangle shapes that come down his armpit and kind of to his waist. He has another one right there. And then this one we could barely see it, so we could barely see this line, so I do add it. And then the one in the back, and then they connect around the same area. Yeah, so I don't think I do that 4th leg. I do it on my final drawing, but I think I forget to do it right here on my sketch. It's just basically the shadow of the other one, guys. So he does have these lines right here, the segments on the antenna. So that's basically what I was doing there. It's just really small details. Just going over some of the lines. I basically split my drawing into pieces. For example, the head, and then I look at the reference. I look at my drawing, and then I look at the reference, and I try to see like anything that I missed, any details, something that I could probably fix to make it better. And then from there on, I switch to another section. For example, on the chest, I look at the chest on the reference, then I look at mine, I look at the reference, I look at mine, and just try to add any changes, and just basically focus on one area as I go. So that's basically what I'm doing right here. I'm looking at the segments on the reference, and then just trying to make any changes to mine. And if there's something I can make better, then I go ahead and do it. So I recommend that you guys do that. For example, you can start at the head, then do the chest, and then the arm, one arm, and then the other one, then the torso, and then the leg, one leg, and then the other one, and just go from there. And just try to do as many details as you can, as you guys see on the reference, because all those details basically make the whole drawing. So for example, right there, something that I noticed towards the end was that right here in these orbs, I guess you could say, like I said before, they're not orbs, but that's what I'm gonna call them. He has these lines that basically go right in the middle. On the far right leg, they're like towards the bottom. Right here, they kind of curve up a little bit, and basically split the segments in the middle. So that's just one of those small details that just basically completes the drawing. Another thing that I forgot, or that I noticed, is that he has these lines right here, right at his the bottom of his feet. And just small details like this makes the whole drawing. So just by having it like this, guys, we could basically see Buzzwole. And hopefully I was able to help you guys. Once again, try to use the reference to make any of your details, any changes that you guys might need. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like mine, I forgot mine, like the legs didn't come out the same angle and the shape, the same shape. So that's just one of those things that I left it like that and just made it work with my drawing. So once I have my sketch, guys, what I like to do is I like to go over it with the pen. You guys don't have to, you guys could just erase it and stuff like that. And then once the pen dries, I basically erase all the pencil markings, and it just basically gives me the outline of my sketch. So it just cleans up the whole drawing. And then once I have that, I use my Copic markers to color him. I made a little mistake. I colored the top of his shoulder right there with the darker red when it was supposed to be like the orange or the lighter red. So that's probably one of those mistakes that I did make. I'm pretty sure I made more, but I used that dark red for the body, and then I used like a black for the middle of his chest, and then I used a gray for those gray sections, and then I just used like a lighter red, or I think it was like a red orange for those segments, those orbs, like I said before. And then on the torso, I kind of added like this peach color, orange peach color, and then just combined it with the red just to give it that same effect as on the reference. Although obviously it's not going to be the same, but it's what I had, you know, and what I was able to do. And then I just used the dark grays. Hopefully, something that I wish I would have done is just maybe use lighter grays, because he is kind of dark. Just by looking at him, he's really dark, guys. I also used the black for his like the torso, like I said before. I used that's basically it. He doesn't have that many colors to him. Another color that I actually use is the peach and a yellow for his wings. If you guys look at it at the reference, it's kind of like a peach color, and then he has like a couple spots that are yellow. Other than that, he's basically a dark red, lighter red, 2 or 3 different kind of grays, and that's it. He's one of those Pokemons that doesn't have that much color to him, but he is pretty dark, so that's why my drawing's kind of dark. But at the same time, I think I got pretty close, guys. Obviously it's not perfect, but it's kind of hard to do a tutorial on him and then try to make him as close as I can. I made like I said before, a couple mistakes as I colored him. I can't even talk, guys. One of those was that I made the dark like gray areas a little bit bit too dark. It's really hard to see the outline of the pen. Another mistake that I did was on the left side of his head. That should have been light red, and I did it dark red, but at the same time I guess I could say that it's the shadow. So basically that's it. So you guys can use the reference to color them. I wouldn't base your drawings on mine, just because, like I said before, you guys could do a better job. That's why I put the reference up there. But yeah, guys, so let me know in the comment section how you guys did. I'm really sorry if you guys had trouble. It's just one of those Pokemons that's really hard to draw, and I tried my best, guys. I tried my best to simplify the drawing as much as I could, but since he is a little bit more on the difficult side, I'm pretty sure that there's some of you that are gonna have trouble, but just go with it, you know. Make any changes to your drawing just to make it work. So yeah, so I just gotta thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. If you guys need any help or any suggestions, just leave them in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to reply. And let me know in the comment section if you guys actually drew him. So right now, just pause the video, go down the comment section, and let me know how yours came out, and let me know if you actually drew him, because I want to know how many people actually drew him and how it basically came out. Another thing that you guys could do that I would really appreciate is to send in your drawings. You guys can send them to my Twitter or my email. I would love to see them, and I would also love to feature them at the beginning of my videos, just like the ones you saw in this one. So make sure to send them in. And yeah, guys, so I just want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.